We're happy and we're singing and we're colored. Give me a high five.
Welcome to another edition of Bro Talk Live, the best show on the internet for you by us. Bro Talk, we're always on the mark. Thanks for sticking with us each and every week. It's your man, Jason. Let's kick it over to my main man, Dex. What up, bro?
Dexter stuck it here. Super excited.
Oh, wait, what's happening?
What's going on?
Wake up.
What?
That face is beat.
You look so stupid. You almost look as light skinned as Jason.
I don't know. Look, when you pay for lighting in your house, this is what you get. I honestly don't know what's going on. Like, it's a lot going on, but like, this is what my skin looks like.
A little bleach. You finally went back to that Macy's and got that bleach.
He pumped back in that Bloomingdale's with that little shit, that blouse he got on. He got that beard.
Dex alone. He's trying to get the best lighting possible, and we'll make sure he has the appropriate lighting next week. Dex, you're lighter than me, though.
This is, I don't know how to get no better than this. Like, I literally have 16 lights around me going right now. And if I turn one down, you're not going to be able to see me. So I don't know what's going on. And because these guys ruined my personal story for today, I would just let you guys know, look, we do have a YouTube channel. So search us on YouTube. Like, whenever you're on YouTube, just go Bro Talk Live and just subscribe to the YouTube channel. So get our followers up on YouTube.
Amen. To God, are you done ridiculing Dex?
I'm good. I'm proud, dark-skinned brother, just ready to do this show. No need to lighten up my skin, or I don't know what else he got going on, but I'm good to go.
Bill, are you also a proud dark-skinned brother?
I have always been a proud dark-skinned brother. I'm trying to understand why Dexter looks orange. Like he looks like the president. But I do need
something's happening with his lighting.
Before we begin, Dex usually starts with his personal stories, and I have to start with my sponsorship. I broke it out the pack like a week or two ago, and now I'm finally wearing it. My all world apparel, like platinum shirt. Listen, we got new heat coming, and I say we? Because I am like the brand ambassador. That's my sponsorship. So
Dex, aren't you supposed to be keeping up with the sponsorships? What happened this week?
What you mean?
Like, didn't you have like a sponsor last week?
Well, I'm sponsored by Bleach today, and
They're dragging you early. Amber's saying we look good, so Dex, I think we're good.
Amber doesn't normally watch the show. You don't know what I actually look like.
That's my older sister.
Shout out to Amber. Fatima said you on your Black China. Everyone referencing Black China bleach cream. There we go, Dex.
I'm sorry.
All right.
It threw me off a little bit because I didn't see
you started. Nobody else would have noticed if you didn't say nothing.
We definitely would have noticed.
All right, time for the news. All right, this week we're going to start you off with news from Jacob.
You gonna gloss over that like you ain't just.
Okay. The man who survived being shot 7 times in the back by the police. He's still in the hospital, but he's able to speak and wanted to share some words to the public.
Yeah, I just want to say, man, to all the young cats out there, and even the older ones, older than me, it's a lot more life to live out here, man. Your life, and not only just your life, your legs, something that you need to move around and move forward in life, can be taken from you like this, man. And I promise you, the type of shit that you will go through, staples, I got staples in my back, staples in my damn stomach. You do not want to have to deal with this shit, man. 24 hours, every 24 hours, it's pain, it's nothing but pain. It hurts to breathe, it hurts to sleep, it hurts to move from side to side, it hurts to eat. Please, I'm telling you, change y'all lives out there. We can stick together, make some money, make everything easier for our people out here, man, because there's so much time that has been wasted.
So yeah, that was words from Jacob Blake. It's hard to understand what he's going through right now. He's being politicized, he's being attacked, he's being ostracized, all for personal gain from either side, the Republicans or the Democrats. So it's a little disheartening to see that, but we wish him the best going forward. Kamala Harris saw him in the hospital and said that she was very proud of him. And of course, that incensed the right for whatever reason, but it is what it is. So, shout out to Jacob Blake. We hope he makes a full recovery. As of now, he is still paralyzed. So there we go. All right, the Sunken Place is where our coverage of our national villain Donald Trump comes from this week. If you didn't hear, there was a boat rally. Did you guys hear about this boat rally in Lake Travis in Texas?
I did.
And while the weather surrounding the lake was perfect, the water wasn't really feeling it. So yeah, it got kind of crazy. Several boats sank or crashed. Bill's cracking up. Or crashed in the rocks, but luckily no one was hurt for their stupidity, local officials said. And the stats provided by Tony Ploetsky saying breaking news: Travis's sheriff's office releases official information about Donald Trump's boat parade. Five boats sank, 2 towed, 3 still submerged. Most boats that took on water were towed before sinking. The weather was calm, and the large boats, all in that body of water, generated the waves, which ended up sinking the other boats. There was no evidence of foul play in any of these situations. Bill, do you have any response to this quickly?
The first thing I want to say is God is good and He doesn't make mistakes. The second. Secondly, clearly the tide was high there. That was definitely a high tide. I don't know who decided to go on and get net water, but allow me to say this. Y'all got in there and y'all were acting crazy on that water, and now y'all out here looking like the Titanic. Nobody has time for it. Go ahead and swim to shore.
And thoughts and prayers, correct?
Not actually. No thoughts or prayers.
Well, I'm sure Trump didn't give a damn about those boats sinking. He was surely interested in this piece from The Atlantic, which claims that Trump disparaged current and fallen members of the military to members of his own administration. According to the report, Trump did not believe that it was important to honor American war dead, according to 4 people with firsthand knowledge of the discussion that day. Crazy. He then, the article also went on to claim that Trump had disdain for Senator John McCain that continued far after his death, saying that he told his senior staff, "We're not going to support that loser's funeral." And then he became furious when he saw flags lowered at half staff, saying, "What the F are we doing that for? Guy was an effing loser." As we all know, Trump was not invited to John McCain's funeral. Trump was asked about these accusations in a press conference.
And it's a disgrace. Who would say a thing like that? Only an animal would say a thing like that. There's nobody that has more respect for not only our military, but for people that gave their lives in the military. There's nobody, and I think John Kelly knows that. I think he would know that. I think he knows that from me.
There's nobody that loves the military more than Trump. Then Trump's former personal lawyer and head flunky Michael Cohen announced that his new book, which comes out, I think, next week. He claims that Trump hired an Obama lookalike to participate in a video in which Trump ritualistically belittled the first black president and then fired him, end quote. The book doesn't name the man who was hired to play Obama or provide a specific date for the incident, but it does include this photograph of Trump sitting behind a desk facing a black man wearing a suit with an American flag pin affixed to the lapel On Trump's desk, there are 2 books, one displaying Obama's name in large letters.
What
Strange.
is that?
It's very, very odd behavior from Donald Trump. And last but not least, our new favorite person, Louis DeJoy, is bound to be under more scrutiny after video footage captured a truck in Los Angeles dumping mail in the parking lot of a Glendale spa. Here goes the truck backing up. It's a budget, just a rental truck. So it can't be traced, but you can see them dumping packages and look like trash, but it's actual mail. You can see the person recording USPS mail that's just dumped in the back of this parking lot of a spa. Louis DeJoy has not given a comment on this at all. So that was the week in Trump. Guys, what is your reaction to any of these stories? Concerns, comments, concerns?
Trump is obsessed, like absolutely obsessed, like to the point where it's really sick. And I already thought that, but like for him to hire some guy, like it's getting real weird, man.
Very weird. It's strange.
It's starting to become like a little fetish, if you ask me. I think it's getting real strange. I'm very uncomfortable.
I think the craziest part is that mail thing. So you mean to tell me, like, I know a lot of the other stuff is like true. Like we've seen that, like the military stuff. But like for me, like the military stuff seems a little too political to me. Like it's just like all these other issues are starting to come up. So now you guys throw this whole military thing out there. So it's like I can't get into that because I'm not one of those people that's pro or anti-military at all. Like I've never spoke up for them before. So I don't really feel like that's my place to do that now. But the mail thing, like this seems like a cartoon. Like, you know how in the cartoons they do like silly stuff and then you go, like it's like you go and it's like, wait, look, there's like actual mail there. Like they didn't even try to hide the bags. You didn't burn it. You just literally threw the mail out the back of the truck. Like what is wrong with you guys?
Dumped it out.
He doesn't want to win this election. He wants to lose.
The craziest thing to me, and of course I do have to comment on that military story, but the craziest thing to me is it has only been 4 years.
Only he's destroyed 200 or 300 years.
Literally destroyed 400 years of hard work. Like 400 years of people pounding the pavements and like syphilis bringing and document writing. This man has destroyed it in literally 4 years.
Well, I don't know if I would say destroyed because it was never that good to begin with.
It certainly was better than this.
I mean, we were relying on people to be actually decent that we elected, and we just ran out of luck, it seems like.
The racists at least used to smile in your face and pretend like you.
It's crazy.
My God, today. Like this man, it wants people to believe.
So
and
1776 was what, almost 350 years ago.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's great.
The craziest part about it all to me is that there are still military people who are going to be like, "Oh, God bless Donald Trump." When we just got this email about these payroll taxes and how we can't out.
Yeah. So then when taxes come back and hit you, like you don't have a choice
to pay double.
Pay those taxes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't touch my check with that.
I was gonna say, like, just keep giving me the pennies that y'all are already giving me. I can't afford
Social Security. It's a wrap. It's a wrap. All right, moving on. Bills by Dre, his new venture with his wife. Dr. Dre's wife has made waves across social media after it was revealed that she's looking for $1,936,399 every month in temporary spousal support. TMZ has this breakdown of what reportedly that nearly $2 million will cover. Laundry and cleaning, $10,000 a month. So it's a lot of laundry. New clothes, $135,000 a month. Education, tuition and living expenses, $60,000 a month. Entertainment, getting to this entertainment.
Girl,
$900,000 a month.
Are you entertained?
Good
Not with the
Lord.
world closed. We need to slash that one, honey.
I need to be $1 million a month on entertainment. That is ridiculous. Charitable contributions, $125,000 a month. I mean, why are you paying charity? I mean, girl, if you looking for money to charities, you. A mortgage, $100,000 a month. I thought that was part of tuition and living expenses, but I guess not. Telephone, cell phone, email, $20,000 a month.
Who's our cell phone carrier?
I think we should forget the cell phone. Who are you emailing? Like, what are you doing?
It's a lot.
I think we could help her out. I think we could help her out. Like, Jason, put that thing back up. So let's look through it and go through it and help it out. So like laundry and cleaning. If your mother loves you, she'll take care of your laundry for you. So we'll slash that completely. Matter of fact, let's give her $30 for gas to go to and from her mom's house. Clothes, I mean, you haven't really been wearing a lot of this stuff during the pandemic, so like everything probably still has tags on it. So we're gonna slash that in half too. Actually, we're not gonna do that one at all. Education and living expenses, we'll do the $60,000 for that, but that includes your mortgage, so you might have to downsize.
But if you're doing school through the computer,
we're doing $60,000 a year. You're not getting 60 grand a month for those school. Ain't no school called 60 grand a month.
60 grand a month for school.
And I know that Netflix and Hulu and WWE Network, they all got cute and tried to go up on their prices, but I think $50 will cover all that. So entertainment, we're only going to give you $50.
$50?
And you are the charitable contribution, so we're gonna take that off the list completely too.
Complete, because there ain't no way you begging for my money and you trying to give something to charity. Absolutely not happening.
Now the cell phone bills and stuff, let's give her $200 because she probably has Sprint, and I know how Sprint does with my bill. Like it's always a little surprise here and there, so we'll give you $200 for that one. So I think Dr. Dre, like if you just give this woman, I don't know, $60,000 a month, like you'll be good.
That's, I mean, but when you think about it, a lot of people had the thought that, you know, Dr. Dre is Dr. Dre. So it's $2 million a month excessive considering that it's Dr. Dre. Dr. Dre wife wants $2 million in support until the divorce is finalized. $20,000 on email, blah, 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 blah. To create, that's the dumbest. But when you live like that and create a world for a woman, she's going to be used to that and justify that. Then someone else said $2 million a month is $24 million a year. Dr. Dre is worth billions. Pretty sure he spends more in cars and white shoes.
Here's what the people are missing. He spent money on that. He created the world. He created the beats. If she wants that kind of money, she needs to go create.
But if they didn't have
married to somebody like that, that's
absolutely not.
And she helped him with the design. She is also an attorney, so maybe she helped him with
we have to be realistic. Like it looks ridiculous to us because we're broke as shit, right? But when you're looking at her, when you're looking at them and the type of lifestyle they live, that doesn't. I don't think that's ridiculous. I mean,
if you retire, let us know. If you always do, let us know.
If you cannot. If we're living a lifestyle,
how many years were they married?
A lifestyle that you can live without me, then that means you don't need to be living the lifestyle.
But that's the law. I don't need. That's the law. Too bad.
I'm providing for you because I love you. At the point we stop loving each other, you go and create your own world. You go figure it out on your own. You decided that this wasn't going to work anymore, and that you didn't want to do this anymore. So now you go figure out how you're going to create the world I created for you, because I created that world for you. Also, if we're saying like what she gave to him, like she gave him free legal advice. He said she's an attorney. She probably gave him free legal advice and sex often. So therefore, does he still get to have the same lifestyle that he had before? Does he get to go have sex with her anytime he wants to and get free legal advice? Like we got to make this balance. It can't just be money. If you're going to say like continue to provide the lifestyle, you got to continue to do what you were doing for me as well. And here's the thing. I'm sure she only provided free legal advice because that was her husband. I could have got legal advice anywhere else. I'm going to write you a check for this legal advice for the last 20 years, and you go about your business. I'm not giving you nothing else. We can go and take this to court, honey, and you can go ahead and be poor.
Looks like hashtag I'm with Bill is this week.
And Dr. Dre was probably a piece of shit husband. You need to pay her and move on.
No, you stayed. So Judge Judy says if you don't like the steak, honey, you're going to go to another steakhouse. Don't keep eating the steak.
Listen,
Look, in the grand scheme of things, $24 million a year is a drop in the bucket for Dr. Dre.
Very true. And I think if she said I won $24 million a year, we probably wouldn't have said much about it because we wouldn't care. Like Ty said, we're
$2 million a month sounds crazy.
But if you break it down like that and you start saying I need this for clothes and this for entertainment and this for email, then it raises eyebrows.
It sounds crazy.
It looks real stupid the way she did it. Like you look like an idiot. Like you have email on there. Email is free.
I mean, but I guess you have to, when you're doing legal things like this, you have to break it down. So I guess you have to say how much you want per month. I mean, same thing. Like if they worked a 9 to 5, we would have to break it down to hourly or something like that. It's like ridiculous how much they would be making per hour just to exist.
She got with her team, and she was like, I just, we've got to do something. And they were like, don't worry, we've got it. Email.
I don't know. When the lawyer told her to email one, she was probably like, email? And they said, yeah, trust me, it's going to work. She was like, okay, I guess.
Hashtag I'm with Bill. Yeah. All right. He used to pay for beating Michelle A. That is very true.
He was probably beating a few more folks as well.
Allegedly.
Dangle ass whoop.
A lady by the name of Jessica Krug, professor of African American Studies at George Washington University, has now entered herself into the running for Stunt Queen and Stunt of the Year after revealing that she's been cosplaying as a Black woman for her entire adult life. Rachel Dolezal.
What?
In a post to the blog site Medium, Jessica penned a letter where she takes full responsibility for her actions, saying, I have built my life on a violent anti-Black lie, and I have lied in every breath I have taken. There are no words in any language to express the depth of my remorse. But then again, there shouldn't be. Words are never the point. Ty is actually shocked by this amount of self-deprecation. He doesn't understand it. I saw that look in your face. She continued to call herself a coward, saying, I'm not a culture vulture. I am a culture leech. I have thought about ending these lies many times over many years, but my cowardice was always more powerful than my ethics. I know right from wrong. I know history. I know power. She continued, clarifying, saying, I have not lived a double life. There is no parallel form of my childhood connected to white people or a white community or an alternate white identity. I have lived this life fully, completely, with no exit plan or strategy. I've built only this life, a life within which I have operated with a radical sense of ethics, of right and wrong, and with rage rooted in Black power, an ideology which every person should support, but to which I have no possible claim as my own. Sis knows how to self-deprecate. It is amazing.
That made me sick. Like, was that supposed to like make me feel bad for her?
But according to a professor from Michigan State, Jessica only admitted to this because several Black Latina scholars began questioning her identity after a discussion of the novelist H.G. Carrillo, whose sister told the Washington Post after he died this year that he was not Afro-Cuban, as he had claimed to be, but was rather African-American. Then one of the scholars believed that Professor Krug had also been lying about her identity, which made them investigate. Jessica's family, for all of this, was also unaware of Jessica's new race, stating that Krug had disassociated herself from her family decades ago, but that as a young person, she was very smart, active in sports, studious, and very interested in causes, including racial equality. And that today's revelation that she had been presenting herself as something other than white, blonde Jewish woman from Kansas was astonishing. They had no idea that she was doing this. George Washington responded by recommending, actually her department recommended her termination, but she is currently tenured, so they can only recommend it and hope that they, take back or renege on her tenureship. And they have decided that she will not teach classes this fall while this all gets resolved. Guys, what are your thoughts that something like this actually happened after Rachel Dolezal? Like, I'm surprised that she waited this long and wait till the heat got up on her, I guess, before she decided to, take ownership of this whole thing.
That tenure track, she goes, I'm not gonna find that again. I gotta keep it pushing. What it is, I'm too deep. In too deep.
in too deep. Did you think the self-deprecation helped at all? The fact that she
No,
knows
I thought
what
it was pitiful, ridiculous, and embarrassing, and then it like made my skin crawl because like we're not interested in that. Like, don't pretend that you've been remorseful and you've been thinking about coming. You never thought about coming out. Only thing you thought about is like, I wonder if I'll ever get caught like Rachel did. That's all you thought about. Like, when people get caught and then come out and say something, like I don't think you ever thought about coming out until you were caught. Like, people started investigating, and you know the block got hot, and then you had to leave.
I think she laughed at Rachel. I think when all that stuff came about Rachel Dolezal, she was like, "Look at this amateur. She's so stupid." Because it wasn't like Rachel Dolezal was like 16 years ago. That was fairly like recently. You know what I mean? Like, you kept
very recent.
Yeah, you kept this going because you didn't think it was going to happen to you. I would really love to look up her tweets to find out what she had to say about Rachel Dolezal. She was probably like so pissed off, and all this stuff she just said about herself, she probably said it about Rachel too.
Zero dark 30. You know, some people when they're guilty.
But again, like, to be honest with you, I mean, I appreciate the honesty. If you are trash, and it's okay to acknowledge and admit, it's okay.
What is she saying that she was Puerto Rican and she was a student or a what did she say? She said she was a product of the hood or something like that.
What she said she was, she looked. I'll tell you that much. At least she sold the look.
She could pass, I guess. Maybe, I don't know.
I wonder why they even questioned her. That's not something like as a student. Like, I wouldn't even think to question like my professor.
I would probably question if she was the professor of African American studies. There's nothing about her that looks African American.
They were probably doing something where, like, a question that, like, you know how, like, this with black people, you lose your black card if you don't know certain things. They were probably quizzing her, and she lost that card, and they were probably joking with her, but she knew the block was hot, like you said, and she just came out with that message that she did.
Ooh, sure.
She couldn't control it no more.
The fact that her relatives didn't even know what was happening is astounding to me, and that just like Rachel Dolezal's relatives, they had no idea she was living her life as a black woman.
That is not Rachel's family releasing those pictures. Now we want to see them pictures.
Oh, they got pictures of her. I can find you pictures. I didn't include any in this week's slideshow, but Bill, would you be offended? Like, are you upset about this? Because people are saying that she kind of used this because she got grants and other things. She got her job, her tenureship.
Absolutely. And that tenure ought to go right out of the window, and they need to fire her tail because she lied about who she was, which means she committed a fraudulent act. That sounds like a breach of contract to me. And she has to, like, she needs to go. Like, what is, like, how? Because, you know, I just don't understand how it is you think the struggle that people live day in and day out is something for you to cosplay. Like, I'm sorry.
They cosplay.
I added that editorial. Not necessarily cosplay, but she
no, because that's what you were doing. You were dressing up in costume. Like,
yeah.
Like, yeah, you have a mental illness and you need your head stomped to the white meat.
She just beat up because she did this?
Yeah, blood in my. There are people who are literally dying because of who they are, and you are sitting up here and you're dressing up and in the struggle that, like, you're like, who, what?
That's another reason why she probably came clean. She saw what was going on. She's like, oh, it's not getting no better for them. Let me get out of this. Let me go back to being.
And then, which makes it even worse. She's going to take off this skin, take off this struggle, and she's going to rinse that gel up out of that scalp, and she's going to go back to living her hair as a blonde-eyed, blue-eyed, blonde-haired Jewish woman from Kansas.
No, you can't go back to Kansas, though. They don't want you.
Please.
Teaching African American studies, though. She gonna be teaching African American studies still
in Kansas. She gonna get to Kansas, and they're gonna be like, "Well, we have somebody with experience firsthand. Kansas is own."
She's gonna get her a book deal. She'll be back in Kansas at University of Kansas, doing her thing.
Where's Rachel at?
Rachel has not commented at all on this.
Where is Rachel is probably working at the NAACP in Kansas.
We had that GoFundMe set up for Rachel to get, a job because remember she couldn't get hired for a while.
I bet you Rachel found a job in Kansas, and Homegirl's about to have her new job in Kansas too at the NAACP.
It's wild. It's wild. Wow.
Well, at least they'll be doing something. Never mind.
The block was hot for real. Kiana, of course, the comment of the week as she normally has. I wish I could put on my white face and get white people benefits and be a nigga on the weekends completely.
That's what I did. Put on my white face.
I gotta go.
All right, time for Q&A.
I got a question. I got a question.
All right, time for Q&A.
Then I am here for the thing.
I just can't wait. I literally cannot wait to dig through the copyright emails that we're gonna get tonight. Like, I'm so excited about it.
Because you know that they're on the way right now. They are literally forming those emails right now. It is now time for you
We're good.
and A, because America is still on quarantine while the rest of the world mocks us. Here's quarantine and answer. Let's look at our categories for the
They
evening.
are all from women today.
All the female types.
I love the word mortified.
Mortified. Oh, that was probably written by a.
Oh, I think mortified and fraudulent Nisi are the ones I really want.
All right, well, let's do them then. Drug zombies. Stay off of Kensington and Allegheny, honey. You don't have to deal with no drug zombies.
Leave them alone.
Leave them be.
Wait, Jason, are those good ones that I picked? Mortified and fraudulent Nisi?
Yeah, mortified's the long one. Fraudulent is a little shorter, but
Someone says, "Can we ask questions in the comments?" Absolutely. We love them.
Absolutely.
All right. I accidentally sent a message to my boss, which was meant for somebody else, and am very embarrassed.
Ooh.
I had a long day, and I was more than excited to get off at my normal time of 4:30 p.m. and head to a nail appointment. Then at 4:15, I got a text message from my supervisor saying she needed me to jump on another meeting. I sent a quick text message to my sister, who was joining me at the appointment. I said, "My boss is being insane and asked me to join another call. Hopefully, we can still leave on time." However, I accidentally sent the message to my boss. Obviously, I was totally mortified, and I apologized immediately. I explained the message was meant to be humorous and intended for my sister. I acknowledged how rude it was and said that it is, of course, perfectly reasonable to expect me to join calls during work hours. My boss said not to worry about it, but then she told me not to join the call since it was almost over and that she could catch me up tomorrow.
Oh.
We're all working remote due to the pandemic, so I could not have a face-to-face discussion with her right then. I am not sure if an apology via text message is sufficient, or if there is more that I should try to make amends. To do try to make amends. This is particularly unfortunate because I truly think she's a great boss and in no way insane. Do you think I should bring this up with her again, or is it time to let it go?
Ooh.
That's a hard one. Yikes.
That's exactly what it said in the comment. Yikes.
Whew.
Yikes.
Actually, I do think you should. I don't know. I feel like you should have a more formal conversation about it. To be like just joking around, but I'd be inclined to try to let it go. But I don't know if that's necessarily the right thing to do. I don't know. I really don't know.
That's tough because especially the fact. I mean, maybe you can get back to us what she said today. When you met with her or something like that. But the fact she told you not to join the meeting after all was kind of like.
At this point, you just got to stand on it. Like you just got to stand your ground because you're about to be fired either way. So go on. Because she didn't.
No, you don't get fired. You don't get fired for that. You don't get fired for that, but they start to look at every little thing you do. You've been inactive for an hour now. We're going to have to let you go for insubordination.
Because that thing is going to build up. You missed the meeting. I told you not to get on, but guess what? You didn't show up to the meeting. So now I'm documenting that you didn't show up to the meeting because it was almost over when you were ready to get on. So you didn't show up to the meeting that you needed to show up to. You leave early. I noticed you've been stealing up the paper clips Is that your stapler you got in your bag? Who stapler that belong to? Oh, you took the Clorox wipes too? Okay, now you're stealing. You're going. You're out of there.
And like you text on company time. Like I go
on the company Wi-Fi.
You use the company Wi-Fi to text your sister that your boss was being crazy for asking you to do your job. You need to be fired.
You going.
They're not using the company Wi-Fi for that. But yeah, it's
about a month.
I don't know how you. Eric said, "Send her an edible arrangement and a bottle of Henny and beg for forgiveness." I mean, I don't know.
No, you just got to be more careful. That's all I can say. That's crazy.
But also, though, to be honest with you, though, I think that you should just kind of move on from it. You apologize, just let it go, because your boss really shouldn't be texting you. Like, you should have put it in a formal email to ask me to go. And if you're not going to be respectful and do what you're supposed to do, then neither am I.
I mean, I understand she's working remote, but still, if you're expected to work till 4:30, like, and you're, saying throwing a whole thing about catching a meeting at 4:15, I mean, technically, you're in the wrong. So
I'm telling you, daughter, find you a new job because in about a month, you're out of there.
Yeah,
I can't even.
In the meantime, though, I would go to HR and say that she's been harassing you.
There you go. There you go.
If she does decide to get rid of you.
What?
Just have it in the works.
Shout out to my
I'm never owning it. If I mess up on something work-wise, I'm never gonna own it. Like
never. It's somebody else's fault.
And say you did something to me before I own it.
You gotta plant the seed, Dex. You gotta just let it go.
Yeah, you gotta just.
That's
not checkers, y'all. Chess, not checkers.
My coworkers
long game.
I'm telling the managers. I mean, texting the managers about me now.
Y'all got to play the long game.
I'll be like, I made a mistake. The next thing, my dumb ass be fired.
Exactly. I ain't never made no mistake. I'm not always right, but I'm never wrong. Okay.
Oh my god. Question in the comments from Amber: what's your favorite Michael Jackson song? You guys want to quickly verbalize?
Man in the Mirror.
It's definitely Man in the Mirror, but mine is
Man in the Mirror. Wow.
I love Man in the Mirror.
Mine is Man in the Mirror, but live in Bucharest. If y'all hear the guitar riffs and Mike going off, woo!
Real quick though, just
I think my favorite is Human Nature.
Love that one too.
Man in the Mirror is way down the list.
Real quick, Jason and I became really good friends the day Michael Jackson died. He called me like literally later on that night. He was crying actually. And he was like, "Were you a fan?"
First of all, let's not disclose this. Those allegations about Michael Jackson have come out. I don't want to be associated.
Wait, say that again.
I said, let's not verbalize any of this. Now that those allegations against Michael Jackson have come out, I do not want to be associated with.
You just cried. You were sad.
I don't remember that. I don't recall, honestly. But
I don't think that happened.
I don't think it did either. All right. Any other?
I'm with him.
I'm with Bill again.
Jason has a heart of coal. Like I can't imagine.
Not for Michael Jackson. Give me this long.
No, I don't cry. I cry with Whitney Houston.
Steve never land from his window, Dex. I know exactly what you're talking about.
One thing I did cry about Whitney Houston. I will admit that.
Oh,
why?
Dex.
It's just it's layered. Fraudulent Niecy, drug zombies, or bad vibes.
Dex said Fraudulent Niecy was good, right?
Wait, but Jason, which one would you say though?
Fraudulent Niecy could get messy, but
let's do it.
Yeah, we down with the mess.
You know we here for mess.
Please talk about Niecy Nash marrying a lesbian less than a year after her divorce and releasing a book for us women to find a good man on your show. She is a fraud, Bill.
We're not here for that kind of mess. Reno 911 is coming back on, and that's all we going. Y'all carry on.
Let's do another. Really quickly, I'll say with this one, like Niecy Nash has never come up on the show ever. Like not one time. We've never discussed Niecy Nash. And the only time like she really popped up in my timeline is when she came out like as a lesbian and got married to a woman. I never had an opinion about Niecy. Oh, you had everything ready. I never had an opinion about Niecy.
That's the producer.
So I'm not going to start having one about her now.
Apparently, she married the wedding singer of her marriage to her ex-husband.
Really?
Next.
That is the story. And 10 years later, she divorces the man and walks down the aisle with the wedding singer. So there you go.
I know
People
that's
say she's a fraud because she released the book "It's Hard to Fight Naked," in which she talks about relationships and saying that trying to disprove the facts that there are no good men left. Saying that the universe will send you somebody amazing, but yeah, so you need to act right, apparently. There we go. And that's what we're going to talk about for the Niecy Nash situation with that. All right. Do we have any more Q&As? I think we have time for one more.
Yeah, let's do one more. I'm not leaving here with that mess.
And the official statement from the show was "Love wins." Hashtag I'm with him.
Love wins. BroTalkLive.com.
Not reading my comments
at all on that one. So I told you guys it was going to get messy.
Let's move on to this next one.
Bad vibes or drug zombies?
Definitely drug zombies. Just he
must have bad vibe.
Move on.
Drug zombies.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, William, you got that.
Lord have mercy. Let me zoom in. Y'all know I can't see worth nothing. I've been on Zoom for 13 hours a day. I was riding in my car with my mom and stepdad on a trip back from a trip out of state. It was the evening time and noticed a car on the side of the highway with its hazard lights on. And my dad is a retired tow truck driver. So they stopped to see how they could help.
First mistake.
See, okay, very first mistake. Because you drive a tow truck on the strip or what? They pull up behind, and my stepdad hops out to see what the situation is. He was just standing there looking very confused. So my mom gets out and walks over to see that there's a man and a woman in the car, and they seem to be preparing needles to shoot up with. When mom got up there, they had finally noticed my parents standing beside their window, and the man in the car struggled to put his paraphernalia and drugs away and starts to get out of his car. My stepdad told my mom, "Let's go back to the car. We don't need to be a part of this." Parents get back into the car, their own car. And when the man flung himself onto the hood and was yelling for them to get out and talk to him, obviously he did not do that. He comes to the driver's window and starts to beg them not to call the police. My stepdad tells him to move or he will run him over, to which the man responds, "I've already memorized your license plate number."
Oh, crackheads.
I promise you he didn't. Not if he about to shoot up. He sure ain't memorized no license plate number, okay?
That memory sticks.
Then my parents drove off. We didn't get their plates and we didn't report anything when we got home. But now I'm afraid that he did remember my plates. Is there anything I can do besides live in fear? Girl, go get you a license to carry and go get you a gun. Like, what?
You can't just murder somebody, Bill. Like, what are you talking about?
If they memorize, and I mean if, because when you up off that dope, you can't even remember to open your eyes and walk. So I doubt they remembered the daggone license plate. But in the event they did, if they show up at your house, there's something called the castle doctrine that covers you. If they walk into your home, you blast them away. You go ahead and do what you got to do.
You don't need license for that. You can go get that gun now.
What if they stumble into your home?
What happened?
What if they stumble into the home?
And you can go ahead and help them stumble on out. You help them stumble on out. That's what you do. Where's Goldie? Okay? Y'all go ahead and help the people stumble out.
Is there a way if you don't want to use
violence? Hand-to-hand combat.
Which I am certified to teach. So you come on and you get in my inbox either way. We can chat about how you can best move forward in this.
Can you imagine though, like the fear you have to be in, like, because you just never know if somebody would do something like that. Like I remember your license plate.
Thinking about you. Trust me. They got bigger problems.
Like back in it, so people can't like really see the back of your car.
Like who's memorizing a license plate, writing it down somewhere, looking it up like you got drugs to do, and you got stuff going on. Them people are not thinking about you. Move on with your life.
Oh, Cole, you can definitely get somebody's address off the place. That's very easy to do.
It is not hard to do.
They can do that, but they're not going to.
They're crackheads. They probably saw where you went and just like watched you, and they just know exactly where you parked your car at.
Let me tell you something. First of all, I'm not pulling over to find out what these drug addicts are
That
doing.
was the first mistake.
Well, they didn't know. They didn't know they were drug addicts. Like,
You knew because when you drove past them, you looked in that window and saw them needles sticking up out them arms, belts all tied up, syringes. Saw it. You was trying to be nosy. Drink water and mind your business. Ease on down the road.
I was an old tow truck guy, and I pulled over to help. Like for what? There are current tow truck people.
Like I mean, very current. 911 does a decent job at helping the people out.
retired. All right, that was Q&A. Bill, do you want to tell them where they can submit?
Absolutely. Since nobody in America is wearing a mask, the people are carrying on in Atlanta. We are going to be on quarantine forever. So you can send us your quarantine questions at www.brotalklive.com/questions. Jason
and Company. Yo.
What a toss, Bill. Excellent toss. I appreciate that. Time for Jason and Company. Got the vids for you as we always do. This week, we had the return of Karens. We haven't had Karens on the show in a very long time. So we're going to get some Karens up on the show. The question for this week is, which Karen needs to be... Can we get it out? Which Karen needs to be rehomed in the battle of these Karens? You guys ready? Here we go.
What's wrong?
Sorry, backstory. This first person apparently was drawing chalk in the yard, and apparently the chalk may have said Black Lives Matter or something else, allegedly. So here we go.
What's wrong?
Get out of here.
Oh my
I'm
gosh.
playing with your fucking ass.
What's wrong?
That's right.
You don't like art?
You ain't playing that shit. I don't know where the fuck you came from. Get the fuck
I
outta
was
here.
born here.
You hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Then get the fuck out of here. You ain't gonna be doing that shit
But
here.
this is public
Go
property.
fucking someplace else and do that shit.
But you're flying a Confederate
I
flag.
don't give a fuck. This is my house.
Yeah, and this
I
is
don't
a public
care.
street.
You're not doing it.
This is a public street. Your hose is on.
Beautiful. Yeah.
That house.
She reminds me of Ariana Grande in the Nickelodeon show Victorious. She used to put that little voice on.
There are two things that stick out to me in this video. The one thing is little Ariana Grande is looking for a moment because she knew she was going to get one. The second thing for me is and this is going to sound like real old man to me, but I am with homegirl with the hose. Because hear me out. What are y'all doing drawing on my stuff in front of where
she was drawing in the street?
Don't go draw in your own street.
It is her street. She's across the street. The middle part of the street belongs to everybody.
Go across the street where your mammy pays the bills.
Your mammy.
You go ahead and draw the chalk on your sidewalk. I don't want your sunflower seeds. I don't want your chalk. I don't want y'all spinning the rope, hollering and screaming, hooting and hollering and making all that noise outside my door. No.
Yeah.
What state is that in?
I'm probably Indiana. Here goes another Karen that was upset about chalk.
You son of a bitch. Marilyn, come on. You won't even tell your kids to stop it. Where's your wife? She's a nice person. She talks nice. Where is Janine? Can you get her out here?
No, I cannot. Get out of my house, please.
It's your house? Oh, well, that's good to know.
Get your hand off my car, please. Get your hand off my car. Get your hand off my car.
Okay.
Okay, your video is going online.
Oh, you son of a bitch. Marilyn, we didn't want this guy over. Something wrong with him. I don't think you live here because I saw you have slanted eyes. And I talked to a
Slanted eyes? Wow, that's racist. Wow. Slanted eyes. Keep going. Keep going. I gave you plenty of chances.
Marilyn, come on. Well, you have nice kids and you have a nice wife.
Well, apparently they're not nice when they're just coloring chalk on the sidewalk.
The sidewalk. That's the
Is it bothering you? What's bothering you about this?
Because it looks like shit.
Oh, so I have nice kids, but their drawing looks like shit.
No,
Wait, let me tell you something. You're not supposed to do this. If the association finds out, they'll fine you.
The entire neighborhood has zero problem with it except you.
Okay.
You have had a problem with me since I moved in here.
No, we saw a guy that didn't have slanted eyes.
Oh, and again, slanted eyes. Here we go again. Here we go again. Please take your wife home, sir. Please take your wife home, sir.
Now, leave this guy alone.
Please take your wife home, sir. You touch my kids. You touch my kids. You're gonna see something else. You touch my kids. You're gonna see something coming. I'm telling you right now.
I'm not gonna touch your kids. You have nice little boys.
Yeah, except the dad has slanted eyes, right? Get the hell out of my house. Get the hell out of my house. Sir, last chance before I pepper spray her. That's it.
Go back. Did he do it? Did he pepper spray her?
It didn't show him dropping the phone.
Oh my goodness! If I was seeing pepper spray her, that.
Let me tell y'all something. This woman, first of all, walks like Oswald Cobblepot. I would have tipped her over so fast. You in my house?
She was bracing herself up against that truck.
When she said, "This your house," I thought she was gonna say, "I got your license plate number."
Y'all, I would put blood in both of their mouths. I don't want to hear nothing about. You ain't too. You can't listen. You can't even.
Pepper spray is the way to go. Like not a punch, like pepper spray. That's
Shakima, no. She ain't got 2 days. She come to my house. That's her last day.
This was all up in that garage talking about bring Jennifer outside. Like, girl, what? What are you talking about?
Bring Jennifer outside. Yes,
you want to fight Jennifer? Ooh wee.
Oh my goodness. So who needs to be rehomed? The Trump 2020 lady who had all that paraphernalia, or the girl who walked into that garage?
The lady in the garage, she has like dementia or something. There's something wrong with that lady. I would have to escort her out and move on my life.
Then her husband had to stick up for her, talk about you're not supposed to be painting out here.
But the thing is, I wouldn't have let that go on that long.
Absolutely would not.
Exactly. And the next person won't. And also, I really do feel like she'll forget and mess around and hit one of those kids. So for her safety, I think you should move her.
Yeah, like that calls for dementia.
What you should have targeted that weak leg she got happening and just give a little swift hit. A little swift hit.
Like that man was like Andrew Caldwell to me. Like, why would you be doing all that talking and then it's like I'm a pepper spray you? Like that should have been done.
Absolutely, Dion. He could have attacked her according to castle doctrine. Could have wore him out.
Could have got out of there.
No, that wasn't his house because he had.
What do you have, Dex?
I can't say it. But really, I think if you're in a situation like that, though, that guy, you should have punched the husband in the face. Yes, you can't hit a woman, but you should have beat him up because he should have stopped her, control her, put her on the leash next time.
Put her on the leash.
So we're going with Garage Karen.
Take her medicine.
Definitely Garage Karen.
That's ridiculous.
Absolutely ridiculous.
She's daughter was going off.
Speaking of ridiculous,
he stopped filming, so he definitely sprayed her.
Bigger ripoff. Speaking of ridiculous, as we all know, we talked about this in our private chat last week. It didn't make the show because we didn't know where it was going to lead. But Nickelodeon had a show called Made by Maddie, and it was pulled after people started comparing it to Matthew Cherry, friend of the show, Oscar Award, Academy Award winner. His hair love show, his hair love movie that he won with, that he had told us about first. Nickelodeon released the following statement: in response and out of respect to all voices in the conversation, we are removing the show from our schedule as we garner further insight into the creative journey of the show. We are grateful to Silvergate Media for all of their work, and we hold Matthew A. Cherry in the wonderful and inspiring hair love in the highest regard. Made by Maddie, if you don't know, centered around an 8-year-old Black girl who uses her fashion sense and design skills to solve problems along with the help of some friends and her parents. honestly, me and my daughter were excited to watch it, but whatever. Maddie frequently wears a pink headband in her hair, while B is depicted with natural hair and Rashad with locks. The families in both projects also have pet cats. The mom and the dad in Hair Love also have natural hair and locks, respectively, and the little girl Zuri also wears a pink headband. The similarity sparked a wave of criticism on social media, with users accusing Silvergate Media and Nickelodeon of copying Matthew Cherry's work. But Silvergate has, held to their statement that they started recording this 5 years ago, and this was all in the works before Matthew Cherry's Hair Love had even begun crowdfunding via Kickstarter. So, guys, how do you feel about this? Do you feel like it's a it's a bad luck, bad timing, or do you feel like it was intentional?
Just people know what they're doing.
You think they knew what they were doing? I mean, because this was
there's no way they started 5 years ago, because 5 years ago they still didn't care about Black voices. I don't even want to hear it.
Gosh. Silverlight Media says that they started making this 5 years ago. So,
if they did, shouldn't there be proof of that?
I mean, I'm sure they can provide proof, but the fact
that
if
they provide proof that they started making it 5 years ago,
because I guarantee you, if they made it 5 years ago, they wouldn't have pulled the show.
It's just it's a weird thing though. I think even if you did make this 5 years ago, that's like us right now. We do Bro Talk Live. If someone else started doing something like we were doing, they won an award for it, I think it'd be kind of one of those things. We're on a large platform. Maybe try to bring that person in with you to be like, hey, can we collaborate with each other? We don't want to take something from you, and you can't take anything from us. So let's collaborate together. I think Nickelodeon should have done that. They could have done that, or Silverlight Media, they could have done that and should have done that. Because you did, now you have this situation on your hand, which could have been avoided.
You mean like points in the comments? Well, 2 good points in the comments. Pay them for that show easy. Hair Love is going to be turned into an HBO TV series. So Matthew Cherry already has the funding secured for his show. So, he doesn't necessarily, he's not impacted if this show doesn't air. He would have probably been impacted if the show did air, because it would kind of seemed like, redundancy in the market, and it makes sense. I'm sure the parents' hair was different before they saw Hair Love, which is also a point, because I mean, this was based off of a book, but the book didn't necessarily look like the cartoon that they decided to make for Nickelodeon. So that is another point. But the girl was dark skinned and she did wear a pink bow in the book. So, there is that as well.
I dealt with something similar to this. I was doing Wisdom Wednesday.
Oh, here we
and
go.
I had someone comment.
Let him speak.
Thank you, Dex. And as I was travailing and traipsing along, someone I didn't follow, didn't know existed, had never met.
Didn't know existed. The former Mr. Lincoln
commented on my Instagram and accused me of stealing. Accused me of stealing when I'm in charge of the girls. So guess what I did? I went and had Wisdom Wednesday copywritten. I sent a cease and desist, and then wrote a book. Stay mad and stay ugly.
Speaking of cease and desist, Ashanti's probably saying a cease and desist after this lady decided to say, I made a new TikTok for my new song.
See, my days are cold without you, but I'm hurting while I'm with you. And though my heart can take no more, I keep on running back to you. See, my days are cold without you.
She also released a music video, High Quality.
See, my days are cold without you, but I'm hurting while I'm with you. And though my heart can take no more, I keep on running back to you. See, my days are cold without you, but I'm hurting while I'm with you. And though my heart can take no more, I keep on running back to you. Running back to you.
How you look so confused? How you look so confused?
He's gonna put this out like, I wrote this.
And then you know what else she said? She said, this is going to be my seat. That's why I know so much about this. She started selling merchandise, and then people start calling her out like, girl, this is a real song or whatever. She said, well, this song was inspired by Ashanti.
People don't understand what a cover is. Since you didn't say that in the original.
Nope. She said it was inspired by Ashanti after people start calling her out.
She wouldn't even got the little baby hairs like Ashanti. Who do you think you are? With this Splenda version of Ashanti, beat it.
But I will say though, she redid the song or whatever, but she ain't hit the ad libs like Ashanti. You got the eye, but you definitely missing the T. You ain't fully go there. You gotta go there to do it. And then she was sitting there with a face full of makeup that wasn't even her skin tone and a milk bath. Disgusting.
Oh my gosh! Did you like the arrangement?
Now I'm with Donald Trump. Get rid of TikTok. Send it back to
It's gotta go.
It's gotta go.
Gotta go.
Did you like the arrangement?
Absolutely not.
No, Trizash.
You know what? You can keep that little clear vanilla ukulele too. I'm sick of hearing it. We don't want it.
Remember when Jacquees was out there remixing everybody's songs and whatnot?
Yes. What happened? Is gone now. This is his perfect time to seize the short R&B singer / rapper lane. Like this is him. Under 5 foot. Like this is him. This is his time. Jacquees needs to take advantage of this.
And Ashanti, you 13 or not, hit her.
Ooh, we.
And do you think Ashanti hasn't made a statement on this? So maybe she it's on Spotify, so maybe she approved it. Maybe she's getting paid for it. By the way.
Do have Ashanti's people give me a call. That way I can let her know the lawyers that I use, the attorneys I use to send out that good cease and desist.
Shut him down too.
Okay.
All right, so just answer the question, what was the better ripoff?
What'd you say?
Ripoff. Who was the better ripoff? Quickly.
You only showed us the one.
I showed you Made by Maddie and then the girl.
Oh, yeah, Miss Ashanti was the better ripoff.
Yeah, I'll be
ripoff.
Okay, all right. Quickly, just because Dex has to get to the BS report, and I don't know how we ended up going long already, but it seemed like they kind of just snuck up on us. So these guys were kicked out of an illegal party in Woodland Hills, which is basically North Hollywood, and California, if you don't know. And they spoke about why they were there in the first place, and they had some excuses. So I just want to know what was the better excuse, either them or the next one.
Bro, I paid 18 rocks for my teeth, bro. I wear a mask, bro. I didn't buy all this money for my teeth to wear a mask, bro.
I was outside. The homegirls were outside. We tried to keep it as safe as possible, but a lot of people came.
If you came here and decided you wanted to put yourself at risk or etc., then that's your business. I mean, apparently America's supposed to be a free country. So, you have that option to choose or not.
You didn't like the D-Rag?
If we can't go to Bella Noche's, where can we go?
Where the hell can we go?
Look, we on this panel. We paid for some teeth on this panel. So
listen,
you understand?
Listen,
we understand. We paid for some teeth.
You paid for no mask. You paid for them teeth.
You know how badly we want to disagree with that man, but like he said, you pay money for teeth. It's like you got to put there. You ain't lying.
We paid for some teeth around here, so we know.
And he paid more than I paid for mine. He paid $18,000 for his teeth. I know he got good teeth.
Allegedly.
But he also had tattoos on his face, though.
That's right. All right. And secondly, it's going against Joe Budden. He has a lot of people looking at him differently after a phone call in which his ex Santana accused him of dragging her down the hallway. And now what appears to be a court deposition leaked. We think Spotify maybe got their hands on it because they're trying to get him out of his deal. Where Santana not only accuses Budden of kissing their son Lexington with an open mouth, disgusting, but regularly masturbating his dog, saying, quote, defendant has a male dog whom he loves and showers with attention while most of the defendant's interactions with dogs are appropriate. I have observed on several occasions particularly bizarre behavior by defendant. Without putting too fine a point on it, suffice to say that the defendant has not only expressed concern for the dog's lack of a sexual partner, but has personally assumed responsibility for relieving any pent-up canine sexual tension. Defendant, for any reason I cannot fathom, has personally masturbated the dog. Defendant repeatedly states that he sees this function as his responsibility. since there are no bitches around to provide a sexual outlet for the dog. This was apparently corroborated actually last year by Joe Budden in an episode of his podcast.
Basie, it's okay.
That's my guy, right? I'm sorry.
It's a girl.
We're
just using slurs. Don't worry about it.
Why do I always want to make the dog feel good by playing with their fucking privates?
Yeah.
But they like that.
Stop raping my dog.
That's how I know that he's not a real animal lover.
Because I don't play with my pets.
Anybody with a pet, you did a little something down there, man. Made your dog feel good.
Hell no. I've never done that.
Well, you've never.
What?
Anybody with a pet. Anybody with a pet. So that's his excuse. Anybody with a pet has done that.
I don't have a pet, so I can't really express my opinion.
Last but not least, in Lincoln this evening, Lincoln, Nebraska, someone had a truck that said F the N-words.
You got the license plate number.
They got the license plate number, and of course they got the license plate number. You know what that means, that they found that person really quickly. His name was Austin Cordes, and he used to work for John Deere. They found his Facebook profile and everything, and they've already emailed John Deere to get him fired. But Cordes says that it's not his fault that he had F the N-words written on the back of his truck. He says he drove to the mall at 5 p.m. on Sunday, and 20 minutes later when he came out, the message was written on his car by vandals. He claims that there were other vehicles written on as well in the parking lot. He says that he then took his truck to a car wash to get it wiped off. However, there's a witness who says that she confronted him about the message before they arrived at the mall, that he never went inside of the mall because of the interaction. He left. He did not file a vandalism report with the police department, and the police say that there are no other reports of vandalism that day. The internet also found a similar message that he posted on Snapchat with the same truck with similar writing that said, "All lives splatter." Cordes is currently awaiting felony charges of operating a large marijuana growing operation, possession of a firearm while manufacturing marijuana, and being in possession of a firearm while committing a felony. He says it's possible that someone may have been trying to add to his legal troubles, adding, "I don't know, but I don't even vote. I'm not a racist. All lives matter," end quote.
I think he's telling the truth.
You think someone wrote that on his car?
Got to be a thug. You got to be a thug to write that, period. And then they wrote Trump 2020 under it. It's a thug. He's probably telling the truth. Only a vandal would do something like that. You got to be a low-life piece of scum to write Trump 2020 on anything. So he has to be telling the truth with that.
In all red colors, like he used 3 different colors, American flag colors. Dex, the thugs carry different colors. They color code things.
You don't be seeing them.
Yeah, they just got.
You know what? You're right.
The variety pack.
And you know what? Dex is right, because they got that one guy, Juicy Smouye, out in Chicago.
Yeah, with the noose. Yeah.
And if he did do red, white, and blue the second time when he did blue, white, and red.
That's the same writing, the same truck, the same idiot. Get rid of them.
They all write the same way. Like, they probably have a designated person to write for them because a lot of them can't spell. I'm telling you, like, this was the work of vandals. I know the work of vandals when I see it.
I'm actually just still floored at how trash Joe. I told y'all Joe Budden was trash. Like, I've often said, but
very much so.
He plays with his dog.
Yeah.
Okay, move on so I can be quick.
All right, just answer the question. Better excuse. Was it Joe Budden? Was it the people with the corona?
Joe Budden never.
Joe Budden said if you're a dog lover, you would do it.
Not good.
That's the excuse. He said I did it.
His excuse because he's a real dog lover. So.
I bet he is nasty.
I'm gonna go with the teeth. Like I didn't spend all this money on these teeth to cover with a mask. That's the best.
That's what I'm going with.
Everything else.
All right, it is time for Dex's BS report. Dex, you always had a live song, so don't even act like that's anything.
So I don't get no theme music. Everybody else gets theme music. If you
you've always had a theme music.
Just say this real quick, before I do my BS reports. If there's a theme music for Seats, I think you better pull it right now, because if you play a theme music for Seats, I'm not coming back next week. All right. So the first story The woman who created gender reveals has said enough is enough. In 2008, she created gender reveals because she lost a couple children and she was excited to express to her friends and family that she is now having a baby. So she had a big gender reveal and she's having a boy. So she had a boy in 2008. And she's like, I'm done with it. Enough. It's getting stupid. And speaking of gender reveals, shout out to my best friend, Shakima Winter, and her husband, Matt. They're expecting
best friend? Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, they're expecting their first child, so I want to give a big congratulations to them. My next BS,
Jason, you've been replaced.
Best friend, that's a lot.
My next report, Airbnb. So a lot of people, you go to your Airbnbs and they tell you that you're not allowed to smoke, you can't have loud music, after 10 o'clock, no guests allowed, and no guests allowed, and then nobody else who's not supposed to be there or whatever. Well, they're also now being allowed to add no person with an eating disorder and they're also allowed to say you have to have a maximum weight of 220 pounds for a two-story building. So if there's any building with like stairs in it and you weigh over 220 pounds, like the Airbnb host can now tell you that you can't stay there. And then finally, there are some HBCUs who are encouraging students and faculty to take the coronavirus test. Like there's a new vaccine that's supposed to be coming out soon, and HBCUs facilities are encouraging their students to take it and be test dummies for it. All right, guys, what's true, what's a lie?
Story one's the
lie. You really replaced Jason as your best friend?
I thought it was like that.
I have a lot of best friends.
I have a lot of best friends.
So then the question is, who's your real best friend?
It's just you met her on an internship and now it's like best friend.
All of them. Who's your real best friend, Dex?
All of them.
All right, it don't matter. Let's move. I'm going with story one's the lie.
I'm going
to go with story 3. Why not?
I was going to go with story 3 because he called them test dummies.
You can go with story 2.
Well, I said test dummies. That's what I said. I call them test dummies.
All right, well, I'll go with story number 2.
Okay, and the correct person this week is William. Story number 2 is a lie. They're actually telling people there was a host that did put like a person is 220 pounds, so they're not allowed to like rent their Airbnb out. So Airbnb made them pull that down. They're like, you can't discriminate a person because of weight. And then there's an activist. She calls herself a fat activist, and she is saying that like this is
a factivist.
Activist, yeah. She's saying that this is wrong, and she's the one who brought attention to this, and Airbnb then made the host take it down. And those have been Dex's BS reports for the week.
Awesome, Dex. We appreciate you. All right, Bill, it is time for seats.
Did you do that while he was talking?
Huh? No, I did that after he was finished.
Dex, I'm so sorry. Come back next week, please.
He didn't need a song. Like his song is live by me every week. Why? I don't understand why he needs a song. Like, just grow up. Grown ass man, have a song.
Jason, I know you better have a song queued up for Dex's BS report next week. Thank you.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Gentlemen, do you have seats this week?
Dex left.
He's back.
What is he so
nasty? Dex, you have a live song every week. I don't know why you need a produced song.
Everybody else got one.
Oh my god.
So because Brandy broke this little record, we can't use her for our seat example anymore. So we just had to use the music instead, Dexter. We apologize.
Yeah, we had to reformat.
And this is why Jason can be my best friend. Ty, you take up for everything that he do. I ain't never seen nothing like it. I have a seat too.
Go ahead, Dex. You can go first.
But I'll be real quick. So my first seat is going to go to Donald Trump. And you guys know that I'm the person who's always like, I've defended him. I think he's funny. I laugh at him. This morning, I woke up right on time. I usually don't get up at 8 o'clock, but I woke up at 8 o'clock. And the very first thing I saw was a tweet that he put out that said Black Lives Matter protesters horribly harass elderly Pittsburgh diners, scaring them with loud taunts while taking their food right off their plates. These are anarchists, not protesters, are Biden voters, but he has no control and nothing to say. Disgraceful. Never seen anything like it. Thugs. that really set me off because like there's so many things about that like really trigger me. Calling Black people thugs really bothers me. When you don't acknowledge Black Lives Matter at all, ever, in any way, shape, or form, when people are actually asking you about it and talking to you about it, you won't say it, but then you come out and you tweet something like this, it's asinine to me and it's disrespectful and I hate it. Like, Donald Trump is trash to me, and I understand that a lot of people have been saying that he's trash before, but this tweet was it for me. Like, this tweet really set me off. Like,
this is where you draw the line. 3 years, 8 months into the damn Donald Trump experiment.
Yes, you pissed me off. And then my second C to scammers. So like last weekend, I received a call and it was like a 267 number. So I called it back and it was like Pico, and they were like, "Oh, your bill is $500." Now I am one of those people who don't like bill collectors, so I pay my bills either on time or early, except Sprint. Like you get it when you get it.
Your energy bill is $500.
That's not the only reason why you should pay your bills on time. Just because you don't like bill collectors, like you should.
Why else? Ain't no other reason.
Why else would you pay your bills on time?
Right.
For your credit? Like, what do you mean?
Girl,
I won't be worrying about that. I'm good on that.
Your mom had cable in your name. Ain't nobody thinking about that.
So this person calls and I'm like, "Oh, hello," and they're like, "Yeah, your bill is like $500 to get your service turned back on. You have to pay like $200. I mean, to have your service is scheduled to be disconnected, so you pay $200." I'm like, like my bill comes out like every month. Like I don't have that issue. Like I don't know what you're talking about. Then they're like, can you confirm your account number? I said, okay, tell me what you have. They're like, can you confirm it? I said, well, confirming means you're going to tell me.
That's it.
Confirming means you're going to tell me something. Like I wouldn't be telling you. Then they were like, well, pay it is going to get disconnected today. I said, well, tell me what the account number that you have is. And then the guy says to me, and I swear I'm not lying, I was even going to call him on the show today. The guy said to me, "I'm just trying to do my job and you sitting over there acting stupid."
Give me the number, Dex. I'll call him.
I said, "What did you say?" Then he said, "Again, I'm trying to do my job and you sitting over there acting stupid." And I snapped. I said, "You spend your Saturday mornings trying to scam people out of money, but I'm the one who's acting stupid." Then he said something about beating my ass and hung up. And I said,
my God. I would have called his ass back.
Give me the number.
I'll find out.
I would have called his ass back and gave him the biggest.
I wanted to.
You should have. So you listen here, you mother effing B. Like, ooh, I would have went off.
And then it does go right to Pico too. Like it says like it's like a Pico thing or whatever. So I'm like, there's no way this is.
Did you get his name?
Huh?
Did you get his name?
No.
It's probably Gerald or something like that. See if there's a Gerald that worked there. It's probably him.
Gerald.
Gerald.
Hand me that number, Dex.
I'm gonna find it. Hold on.
Cause I'm gonna dial up on y'all know I call people up on the show.
I mean, let that man do his job. I mean, if he had the numbers, he had the numbers. Like, don't be trying to confirm nothing.
That's why your energy bill is $500.
It wasn't. I've never had a bill that high.
Did you log into his account and saw that his energy bill was $500?
My bill is $0. It's zeroed out. I don't owe anybody anything except the student loan people.
All right. Anyone else have?
Yeah, it was go out of hand. Do we ever see anybody else?
Yeah. Here's parents. First of all, I want you all to understand that all these years, it has not been your teacher, your student's teacher. It's been your child. I'm going to preface by saying that. Now, I understand that your babies are home, being in school. Please get them babies dressed for school. Please get them dressed. They shouldn't be lounging around in the bed, wrapped up in the blanket, bonnets and carrying. Put some clothes on them, please, and make them look halfway decent.
Them babies you having bonnets on? What the babies got bonnets on for? They ain't got nowhere to. What they got to keep their hair together for? For what? They ain't going nowhere.
That's my point.
It's not keeping it together. It's hiding what's under there because their parents didn't do their hair in the first place.
Ah, I see. Bill, how is the online learning going?
Longest school year ever. I hate it.
It's all good for me.
Ty, do you have to do any disciplinary actions from virtually? Like, how does that work? How does that work? Do you call them into the principal's Zoom? Like, what do you mean?
I call them into my Zoom. and I meet with them after class. I do, yes.
Do you give them detention? Like, is there a way to to restrict any sort of access for the kids as far as enjoyment of life goes?
I have the social capital to resolve any problems by just speaking about it.
Okay, so you have no way of punishing kids. Okay,
I have no actual.
you have no methods, no avenues to actually punish children.
I have no actual thing, but like my meeting and like when you get back into school, it's like no.
You just give them a nice fair talking to.
Most of our job,
a conversation. It's all about social capital and figuring out what happened.
Yeah, do you have to wear a shirt and tie? That's a good question, Dion. Do you have to put on a shirt and tie every day?
Who, me?
Yeah, you.
No.
No.
I have that one what I got on there.
I saw a video of a student in Philadelphia showing a gun off and stuff like that. I don't see how y'all do it. That would have been my arrest that day on the job.
I'm sure Bill gave it to him.
You sure Bill what?
Gave it to him?
Absolutely not.
And Bill took a picture with him, talking about some free this guy. I said, Bill, take that.
No, sir. That little boy got locked up. Okay, I'll go ahead, call the police, lock his down.
I surround Drake with Drakes. That's what he said. I feel you, Bill. Go ahead.
I just want you to know, Bill for himself is loading up the choppers like it's December 31st. Okay, for me.
I was gonna put your boy NLE Chopper on the show. Isn't he a high school student still?
No, he graduated.
Oh, he did. Congrats.
I love. And he's like planting and vegetables and whatnot, like sustaining healthy living. I love it, OG. But there's nothing.
They're asking to see the knife before we.
Here it is. Goldie's right here. Whoop a tie, whoop a tea.
Always available.
Always. But no, like you, Ty, power perceived is power achieved.
I know that's right.
All right. I don't know what that means, but okay.
We ain't got too much
no power then.
That's our time for the week. Thank you guys for tuning in.
You got an intro song to end the show too?
I don't. If you guys saw your name up on the screen once tonight, that means that we saw you. We appreciate you, and we honor you for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to YouTube, Facebook, and the podcast, just so we can get our numbers up. We appreciate you guys for tuning in and listening. You guys have any shout outs to give to the good peoples?
I'll just thank you guys for watching.
All Worlds Apparel, thank you for all of my merch. Living Basic, thank you for my merch. And if you have something that you want the masses to see, don't hesitate jumping in my DMs.
They wanted to know where you can purchase that All Worlds Apparel, because I don't think you've ever said since you've been sponsoring them.
Yes, I have. But you can also purchase at allworldsapparel.com. That's AWORLDSAPPAREL.com. Allworldsapparel.com. Or you can follow them on Instagram at All Worlds Apparel. And the link is in the bio. Their bio, allworldsapparel.com.
Amen.
And Bill, they want to know where you purchased your red bottoms from.
Oh, I actually got them from the Christian Louboutin store in King of Prussia.
Back truck on the corner of Smith and Allegheny.
No, he got them when they were looting King of Prussia. He ran in there and stole them.
I don't steal. I'm like Whitney. I done made too much money to smoke crack. Crack is whack. But if somebody's steal them and they bring them to me. I'm kidding. I don't.
Shout out to everybody who submitted a comment and the usual cast and characters. We appreciate you guys. We'll see you guys next week. This has been another edition of Bro Talk. We're running along and we are out.